Hello, good day sir. My name is Christopher Rebecca Boni, section bis MT is to I. So I'm going to represent in front of you my video presentations about the physical aspect of the South Korea, East Asia. Location. South Korea is located in East Asia on the southern portion of the Korean peninsula located out from the far east of the Asian landmass. The only country with a land border to South Korea is North Korea, lying to the north with 238 kilometers, 148 millimeters of the border running along the Korean demilitarized zone. Country size. South Korea is a peninsula between the East China Sea and the Sea of Japan. The land has total area of 1,339 kilometers and 38,741 millimeters, and a total coastline of 2,400 kilometers and 1,499.4 millimeters. This land area is approximately 96% of the area of Kentucky. Type of government. The politics of the South Korea takes place in a framework or a presidential representative democratic republic whereby the president is the head of state and of a multi-party system. Currency. The name is a blend of a yuan and yen. Both the coins and banknotes are very hard to counterfeit. One won coins were once made of brass. The South Korean won is the latest in a series of Korean and currencies. The Bank of Joseon first issued Korean currency. Landmark. While there are a number of must-see landmarks in South Korea, the three biggest include the Gyeongbokgung Palace, Bulguksa Temple Complex, and the DMZ Zone. Other features. The country is largely mountainous with small valleys and narrow coastal plains. The Tibet Mountains run in roughly a north-south direction along the eastern coastline and northward into North Korea, forming the country's drainage divide. Cultural aspect of the South Korea. History. Korea is greatly influenced by the Chinese and Japanese cultures. This influence can be seen by Confucianism, which established many traditions that can be seen in modern Korea today. This tradition include the ethical code of conduct in social life and showing respect to the elders and family. Citizen. Hard work, obedience to family, protection of the family, and proper decorum among family members are very much Korean values even in the modern world. Unique distinct culture. This tradition include the ethical code of conduct in social life and showing respect to the elders and family. Koreans also believe in sincerity and loyalty and follow certain codes of conduct while meeting, eating, praying, and even celebrating. At times when many other cultures would shake hands, Koreans how? Feature highlights Korean. Korean culture is profoundly influenced by Confucian principles, and this pervades not only personal lives but also business. Confucianism supports group harmony, respect for the elders and authority, the importance of family, friendship and ancestors, and also traditions. Physical aspect of Bangladesh, South Asia. Bangladesh is located in the northeastern part of South Asia. The majestic Himalayas stand some distance to the north, while in the south lays the Bay of Bengal. West Bengal borders on the west, and in the east lies the hilly and forested regions of Tripura, Mizoram, India, and Myanmar. Country size 147,570 square kilometers. The country has an area of 147,570 square kilometers or and 56,180 square millimeters. According to BBS 2020 or 148,460 square kilometers and or 57,320 square millimeters according to CIA World Factbook 2021 and extend 820 kilometers and 510 millimeters north to south and 600 kilometers and 370 millimeters east to west. Type of government. In 1991, with the restoration of a democratically elected government, Bangladesh adopted a parliamentary democracy based on a Westminster system. The president is now a largely ceremonial post elected by the parliament. Currency. There are coins of 1, 5, 10, 25, and 50 pushas and 1 and 2 and 5 takas in circulations. Regarding banknotes, the following denominations are currently in circulations: 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 500, and 1,000 takas. Landmark. The Shahid Minar is a powerful symbol of Bangladesh history, a reminder of the country fight for independence. Other features. The physical geography of Bangladesh is varied, has an area characterized by two distinctive features: by a broad deltaic plain subject to frequent flooding and a small hilly region crossed by swiftly flowing rivers. Cultural aspect of the Bangladesh history. While greatly influenced by neighboring regions, Bangladesh has its own distinct cultural identity. Amidst the Jainism, Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, and Hinduism, this difference can be seen in folklore, literature, music, tribal dance festivities, and even in contemporary pop songs. Citizens. Bangladesh identify with the folk tradition of Bengali culture. This includes belief in shamanism and the powers of fakirs. Muslim holy men who are exorcists and faith healers. Oja shamanism with magical healing powers, and Bowls religions, medicants, and wandering musicians. Unique distinct culture. Bangladesh has a rich, diverse culture. Its deeply rooted heritage is truly reflected in its architecture, dance, literature, music, painting, and clothing. The three primary religions of Bangladesh, Hinduism and Islam, have a great influence on culture and history. Physical aspect of the Vietnam Southeast Asia history. Vietnam is located on the Indonesian peninsula in Southeast Asia. It has a long border of 450 kilometers bordering China to the north, Laos, Cambodia to the west, and the Eastern Sea, South China Sea of Pacific Ocean to the country size: 107,880 square miles and 331,210 square kilometers. Vietnam geography locations: Southeast Asian, total area 127,880 square miles and 331,210 square kilometers. Land area 1,119 and 718 square miles and 310,070 square kilometers. Water area 8,162 square miles, 21,140 square kilometers. Land boundaries 2,883 miles and 4,639 kilometers. Type of government. Vietnam is a socialist republic with one-party system led by the Communist Party of Vietnam, CPV. The CPV Marxism-Leninism, and its own to the political philosophy and educational late Omen currency. Its monetary unit is the Jong of abbreviate in the domestic market as D and abbreviate in the international market as VND. Banknotes and coins issued by the SBV are the legal tender and use an unlimited means of payment within the territory of Vietnam. Landmark in Vietnam. Temple of Literature, the One Pillar Pagoda, Hang Song Sat Cave, Hang Song Dong, and Ban Gyong Waterfalls and Cat Dua and Titop Islands. Other feature: Vietnam's northern terrain is mostly mountainous or hilly, with some highlands areas covered by a thick green blanc jungle, about half the total land area. The Red River Delta coastal plains in the lowland part of the north are heavily populated and intensively cultivated almost entirely by rice fields. The cultural aspect of the Vietnam history. Part of an Asian culture sphere, Vietnam's culture has certain characteristic features including ancestor veneration and worships, respect for community and family values and manual. Labor religious beliefs. Important cultural symbols include four holy animals: dragons, turtles, phoenix, and unicorn. Citizens. The Vietnamese people value humility, restraint, and modesty. Avoid being boastful or showing of wealth public. Display of action are generally frowned upon, so try to avoid touching the people of the opposite sex dress. Conservatively keep your body covered. Unique distinct culture. The Vietnamese has been described as energetic, sentimental, pragmatic, entrepreneurial, proud, industrious, and hardworking. As is true with the Chinese, their natural tendencies often seem to fly in the fact of what is expected of good communist. Vietnamese are very friendly, easygoing, and have easily smile. Features highlights. The Vietnamese people value humility, restraint, and modesty. Avoid being boastful or showing off wealth. Public displays of affection are generally frowned up, so try to avoid touching people of the opposite sex. Dress conservatively and keep your body covered. Physical aspect of the Uzbekistan, Central Asia. Uzbekistan location overview. Located between the Amu Darya, Oxus, and Ser Darya, Zakartyu rivers. Uzbekistan lies at the heart of Central Asia. As long its borders are Afghanistan to the South Korea, Turkmenistan to the west, and South Kazakhstan to the north, and Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan to the east. Country size: 447,000 square kilometers, with an area of 447,000 square kilometers, approximately the size of Spain or California. Uzbekistan stretches 1,425 kilometers, 885 millimeters from west to east, and 930 kilometers, 580 millimeters from north to south. It borders Turkmenistan to the southwest, of Kazakhstan to the north, of Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan to the south and east. Type of government. The Republic of Uzbekistan is a presidential constitutional republic whereby the President of Uzbekistan is both head of states and head of government. Executive power is exercised by government. Currency. Replace the ruble with a sum at part in on November. 15,993 numbers of division of the sum were issued, and only banknotes were produced in denomination of 1, 3, 5, 10, 25, 50, 100, 200, and 500, 1,000, 5,000, and 10,000 sum, because it was meant to be a transitional currency. The design was rather simplistic. Few place Uzbekistan more than Registan Square, and it equally the country most recognizable of landmark. Other feature that the other feature, the territory of Uzbekistan is a peculiar combination of flat and steppe terrain. The plains are located on the southwest and northwest and consist of Ostyurt and Amu Darya Delta and KYZL-Com Desert. In central and southwestern part of the desert are quite large mountain hill. Cultural aspect of the Uzbekistan history. Uzbekistan cultural heritage includes magnificent monuments and the national architectural traditions. The mausoleum of the Samanid ruler Ismail 9th and 10th centuries in Bukhara, the great mosques and mausoleum of Samarkand constructed in the 4th and 15th centuries, and many other fine tombs, mosques and palaces. Citizens. Hospitality, kindness, generosity, and true tolerance have always been distinct traits of Uzbek nations, and its mentality. Nowadays, representatives of more than 130 nations and ethnic groups coexist as one in family. Uzbekistan, they work with great dedication in all areas. Unique, distinct culture, a double landlocked country. Featured highlights. Muslim, Sunni, Hanafi are the majority of nearly 90% of the population. They practice an Islam which still retains certain the traits from the ancient religions of Zoroastrianism and Shamanism. The Orthodox Church represent the Russian and other Christian denominations are present but in tiny numbers. Physical aspect of the Syria, Southwest Asia. Location. Syria is located in Western Asia in north of the Arabian Peninsula. At the eastern end of the Mediterranean Sea, it is bordered by Turkey to the north, Lebanon and Israel to the west, and southwest Iraq to the east, and Jordan to the south. It consists of mountain range in the west, and steppe are inland countryside. The country occupies an area of 185,180 kilometers. It is about twice the size of Portugal or slightly larger than USA state of North Dakota. Type of government. Politics in the Syrian Arab Republic takes place in the framework of a presidential republic with nominal multi-party representation in the People's Council under the Ba'athist-led National Progressives. From but with the opposition parties suppressed. Currency overview. The Syrian pound is the official currency of Syria and is issued by the Central Bank of Syria. The pound is categorized into 100 kurs, although kurs coins are no longer issued. Landmark. Damascus Umayyad Mosque, 27 religious sites. Alip Ankat Citadel, Old City 109, site of Palmyra historic sites. And Krakdis Chivaler. Umayyad Mosque Natural. History and museums and Takiya Sulemana Shuk and monuments of street markets. Cultural aspect of the Syria history. Syria is a traditional society with a long cultural history. Importance is placed on family, religions, education, and self-discipline, and respect. The Syrians states for the traditional arts is expressed in dance such as the Al-Samada, Dabke in older version, and the sword dance. Citizens. Syria is a traditional society with a long cultural history. Importance is placed on family religion, education, and self-disciplines and respect. The Syrian taste of traditional art is expressed in dances such as the Al-Sama, the Dabke, and all their variation under sword dance. Unique distinct culture. Syria is a collective society whereby strong loyalty is shown to familial, ethnic, and social groups. People tend to structure their lives around immediate social relationship. Important to them, society is not tightly organized and schedules are not closely followed. Feature highlights cultures is the shared characteristic of a group of people which encompasses place of birth, religions, language, cuisine, and social behaviors. Are literature and music. Some cultures are whispered have a people who particular values, beliefs. Physical aspect of Russian location. Russia is bounded to the north and east by the Arctic and Pacific Ocean. It has small frontiers in the northwest of the Baltic Sea and St. Petersburg at the detects part of what one is Russia annexed in 1945, also about Poland and Lithuania. Country size. Russia is the country in Eastern Europe and Northern Asia. The territorial test has a size of over 17 million kilometers and a total coast length of 37,650 kilometers. Type of government. The government 1983 Constitution declares Russia is a democratic, federative, law-based state with a republic form of government. Currency. The ruble of Russian remained ruble. Landmark. The Kremlin is Moscow is one of the top landmarks in Russia. The existing features of the Moscow Kremlin were built between 14,085 and 945 by skilled Italian architects. Other features. The Russian landscape varies from desert to frozen coastline, tall mountains to giant marshes. Cultural aspect of the Russian history. Russian history culture has a long and rich cultural history steeped in literature, ballet, painting, and classical music. Citizens. Russian culture is shaped by an authoritarian way of thinking, so relationship between generations is also shaped by respect and appreciations. Unique distinct culture. Russian culture is quite collective and inclusive. However, in last 10 years, there has been noticeable rise in materialism, individualism. This is the most visible in bigger cities such as Moscow and St. Petersburg. Feature highlights. Russians culture has a long and rich cultural history steeped in literature, ballet, painting, and classical music. And that's it, sir. Thank you, sir.